of it and all of that. A lot of it came from this, man. Hanging out in high school, like going on late night Saturday night cruises, because back in the day, shout out to the original, the OGs, Brother L, we have who else? Cosm, we have Roper, Turnaround, Evis, Monkey, and then, you know, Sev Severe, who's part of like the whole Push Beats crew. They were the last crew before me. Nick Tracy, shout out to the homie Nick Tracy. And yo, like, I came in as a guest one time and they were like, yo, like, would you be down to be a monthly resident? I was like, yeah, word. And then that never transpired because I didn't know that whole crew was kind of like dispersing. And the show was at its kind of end. So the short story is that they put up a post. The show was about to be on its last legs. They were looking for people to kind of like help automate it, like play old archive shows during the time, kind of run it from that standpoint. I got tagged by at least 10 people when that post went up, and 5 years later, we're out here. And with the most impeccable timing, as always, the only way that this would be a proper anniversary show, as we speak about good timing, is to have none other than my brother, my man to my right. You know what I'm saying? The first person that originally came in after I took over the show, the other half of the hip-hop project, even though there's more than 2 people here. You might call it the yin to the yang.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We got the homie Slot A.
What's cracking?
Yeah.
Yo, I want to let you know the elevator situation here is trash.
Yo, shout out. hey, let's just talk about the elevator situation being hella glutes.
God.
It's super glutes.
Super
Why
glutes
you
as
have to
hell.
work on the glutes all at the same time. So it's a double up. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Lo-Fi Social Family in the building.
Yeah.
I like this jacket, bro.
Thank you, man. Shout out to thrift stores, man.
You know what I'm saying?
End up grabbing this
I'm
before
just
the
gonna-
thrifters
I'm just
got
gonna
all
take
super
it-
high pricey.
I'm just gonna take it that you wore that because it's my anniversary. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. What are you talking about? I can't come here with a bum for your 50th 5-year anniversary. What's wrong with you?
But yo, and then what's crazy is that this dude's anniversary for 5 years is just a couple months away. Because
June or
legit,
July?
I want to say June officially.
June, yeah.
Because I brought you in a month or 2 after I started, just on some like, hey, can you want to do a monthly here? And he was like, yo, whenever you need me, I'm there.
That's a
and
fact.
I was like, all right. I gave him the call. I was like, you're in. And that was it. 50-50. We ran the show together for what, about a year? Shout out to the homie Vitamin C. He was out here for a while.
Yeah, he was holding us down real strong, man. I miss that dude.
What was the homegirl's name? The Pittsburgh Steelers fan that was working on her sound engineer degree, who now is doing full-fledged like festivals. And
I'm
I
spacing
totally
on
forgot
her
her
name.
name.
But she had the illest voice ever that never touched the airwaves.
Yes, the voice was ill. She was a hard worker. She was getting her master's at Columbia, maybe. And now she does live sound for like festivals and like Beyonce and all kinds of like big teams.
Tight.
So she's out there. And what's cool is she's such a like football fan that like the old location of Scratch, when I'd be driving past her, there's a lot of those like football bars. I'd catch her out there in the Pittsburgh joint every once in a
going
while.
hard.
Yep. And she'd be, you know, sauced
Sauce
on a Sunday.
Super sauce.
You talking about Steffi G?
No.
Nah,
You guys didn't know her, man.
Oh, okay.
This is prior to all
Oh,
you guys
long
being
time.
here.
Before
Yeah,
us.
this is way prior to
I was
this.
probably like 10 years old.
Because All Day Gabe came in first as Weekend Gabe. You know what I'm saying? And then
All day.
and then
Strong and Gabe.
Vice came in, K
Yeah.
City, and then John Doe. So shout out to my squadron. So speaking of my squadron, let's talk a little bit about what we got coming up. First, shout out to the Lo-Fi Social Night that went down last weekend.
Thank you for coming
It
out,
was
by
hella
the way.
tight. I almost cursed right now because it was so cool. I like, you know it's dope when I'm about to swear. 'Cause, you know, I try to control
That's the
it.
thing.
But legit, like, you want to talk about vibes, just, it's cool because everybody there, like 90% of the people don't know what's happening, but they just like it.
Yeah.
And that's what's cool because at the end of the day, it's a bunch of homies playing instrumentals. When you think about it, and if not to discredit it, but in Chicago, that's very difficult to do. So shout out to them doing your thing. Culture preservation at its finest.
It was, you know what, man? We had two headliners who weren't able to make it. Shout out to Bus Crates and Distant Star. Definitely wish we would have had those brothers coming through, but we smashed. And then I also had my homie who just got active with it. It's 13. Come through and tear it clean up to end the night off, man. So
and he's actually a Hip Hop Project alum as well. He was like he was like the legit, like the official, unofficial member of the Hip Hop Project for
like
so many
the
years.
Initial joint,
yeah, like the main crew, like Cosm and Roper, all them dudes I was talking about. Because the guys that started it, he started it in '95, and in '98, that crew that I mentioned took it over. And that was it. Like, this was supposed to be an experiment, and it actually worked. And then they were like, yo, we're holding it down. So Saturday nights, like Chicago, this was a thing. Like, radio was huge back then. There was no internet like that. So FM was where it was at. And when you talked about anything that was hip-hop, that wasn't, you know, your GCIs or anything in that range, it was this show. Yeah. And it was the old location way up north at that Loyola.
Right
so
over there, like
right off Lakeshore.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, and it's like, and I'm talking, that's how you listen to our intro, these are all individuals that were at the station. Your Primos, your Pete Rocks, like this is part of the history. And September is going to be 21. 95 it started.
You're
so
right.
We're going into 18. It's 23 years already. So crazy time. But speaking of time and good things to do and having good times, can we talk about some things that we got coming up? Maybe let's talk about where you're going to be at. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. All right, so it looks like Ty Dolla $ign is going really hard for the bag. So what's going on? What we got? We got extra sounds?
We got some sound going. Put your headphone. Hey, we hear your sound, man. We hear your sound, man. Turn it down. Tight.
You're on the radio, man.
Quality control, man. Quality control online.
Hello. But Ty Dolla $ign is in Chicago getting all sorts of bags.
Right.
He's out here with Tony Rotimi, Mark Basie, and himself at House of Blues. That's going on right now for the Don't Judge Me tour. Afterwards, he's going to prison to go walk through there and get paid a hell of a lot of money to go do it. And then, that's trash. I guess Goose Island is doing a special thing for him to get tickets. So, yeah, that's a lot. Tight. Moving on. Tonight, you can also catch the homie Ryan Ross over at Deadbolt. Go check him out. Oh, speaking of, I don't know, I went record digging earlier today with the homie Cousin Vinny, my beat, Lo-Fi Social, Bro Migo, and Resident. So the jazz record art collective is bringing Cannonball Adderley.
Really? They're
here, and they're at Fulton Street Collective. That is all ages. That kicks off at 9 o'clock. Oh yeah, shout out to our artists, man. It's a thing. Oh, this one's kind of important. This one is back to beat culture, and I definitely won't forget that because that'd be stupid. The homies, Dr. Mindbender, Neek, yes, Neek the rapper, and the Beat Lo-Fi Social